ABC. This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. Just in case you missed it, which most Americans did, we begin tonight with the eclipse, the only total eclipse anyone in North America will see for the next quarter of a century. There was a time when the moon blocking out the light of the sun was taken as a sign of evil. Crops would go bad, milk turned sour, bad luck to follow. We don't know about the crops and the milk, but there was bad luck of the worst kind for many eclipse watchers today, where the watching was supposed to be best. Hawaii. Here's ABC's Ken Kashiwahara.
It was 7:28 here this morning when the moon and sun converged, producing a blue halo, the corona, then a burst of sunlight, the diamond ring. This was the view from 13,000-foot Mauna Kea. But for the tens of thousands of spectators at sea level in Hawaii, their worst fears surfaced early. Dark clouds threatening to block the show they had waited years to see.
Cosmic crapshoot. You come 6,000 miles to see something, and, maybe you'll see it and maybe you won't.
The odds had looked good. Sunny more than 90% of the year in this part of Hawaii. Ken Brescher, a Boston University scientist, had given up a chance to participate in a solar experiment to be with his children during their first total eclipse.
Well, what do you see, Ken?
Nothing. There's too little sun.
The clouds did break up briefly, revealing a partial eclipse, sending spectators scrambling for their telescopes and cameras.
Come on, come on. Hey, let's hear it.
The excitement was only temporary. The clouds refused to move, no matter what some tried to do about it. As the total eclipse approached, as day turned into 4 minutes of night with the sun and moon still out of sight, some resigned themselves to looking 26 years ahead.
Next one in the U.S., August 2017. Mark it on your calendar now.
Ken Brescher was clearly disappointed for his children.
I'm sorry, Danny. We'll go to another one.
And Olga and Bertram Corin, who saw one total eclipse in 1925, had hoped to round out their lives with a second.
I'm glad I saw the first one. At least I have that.
In the end, the thousands of spectators who had flown to the Big Island packed up and prepared to head home. Their feelings perhaps best summed up by one. The total eclipse was a total bust. Ken Kashiwahara, ABC News, Waikoloa, Hawaii.
Well, a lot of people did have a chance to see part of the eclipse today, and if you were in a narrow band stretching from Hawaii to Mexico to South America, it was the whole thing, the whole sun blocked out. But for millions of others, you've already had a hint, even a partial eclipse was quite a happening. Here's ABC's Gary Shepard.
In San Francisco, where the eclipse was 55%, people gathered on street corners to see it, using a variety of homemade contraptions, everything from cereal boxes with a pinhole to welders' helmets, so they wouldn't damage their eyes. In Los Angeles, 69% of the sun was covered, and thousands gathered at the Griffith Park Observatory. Many wore special glasses or went inside where they could watch it on a television screen.
I think the next time that this eclipse will occur, I'll be about, hopefully if I make it, about 76 years old. So I figure I better get it in now.
Sun gazers in San Diego were especially inventive. They watched using a pan of water with a sheet of plastic wrap floating on top. The eclipse was 100% in La Paz, Mexico, about 1,000 miles south of San Diego. The sky was clear, and hundreds who gathered to watch cheered during the 6 minutes of darkness. Said one woman, "I wanted it to last forever." Gary Shepard, ABC News, Los Angeles.
In a moment, the other news. The Bush administration trying to decide whether to bomb Iraq again. On the American agenda tonight, looking for alternatives to drilling for oil in the Alaskan wilderness. And finally, a fight about memory and race in a New Hampshire town.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer.